So, we are now at the second stop along my northern adventure, and this time we are at a major railway hub, and that is Leeds railway station. And already I'm pretty impressed by the scale of the operation here, and it's going to be fantastic all the same. So join along for the adventure as always. Let's have some fun as we go down the line. The railways arrived here at Leeds in 1834, and since then has blossomed and grown like you would not believe. And in today's standards, it has 18 platforms numbered 0 to 17. It is under the management of Network Rail, which is one of 20 under their management. And the services from here, well, they come from Cross Country, Northern, Transpennine and LNER. So in terms of the destinations you can go from, you can go to, well, Morecambe, King's Cross, Sheffield, Huddersfield, Chester, York and even Doncaster, which is where I've just came from. So this station is very, very impressive. So there is a lot more to see, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. And the locomotives are quite good here as well. I certainly wasn't expecting Leeds to look like this, but as I walked down the platform, I was very happy to see a Transpennine Express Class 68 roar into the station. And it definitely made a racket, as you might expect. Although today, this wasn't being used for passengers, this was being used for a private service. But a wonderful addition all the same. So interestingly, when you look at the busiest stations outside of London, Leeds places 4th. And if you're going to split into a north-south divide, this is actually the second busiest station in the north of England. And that first title belongs to Manchester Piccadilly, which I don't know if it surprises me or not, because from what I've seen so far and having been to both stations, this has been a lot busier. But I don't know if it's the day, type of services, the time of day I'm here. There's a lot of combinations that can determine that factor. But nonetheless, being second in the north of England isn't that bad. And just the train that's just left this platform now, the amount of people that were trying to cram onto the train, it was quite hard to watch, if I'm honest, purely because you can see the angst on people's faces. They're going to miss their journey, and it just shows the amount of people that are here. Was that service big enough, or did it allow for the capacity? I'm not so sure. Being here for just over an hour, you can definitely get the full feel of how busy this station can be, and it did make for quite a stressful filming experience. But after this Class 150 rolled in, I was greeted by one of my favourite railway liveries. So I mentioned this way back when I was at Stevenage, and it is so nice again to see the Intercity Swallow livery. This time we've got 91109 named Sir Bobby Robson, and they do look absolutely fantastic, whether it's Stevenage or Leeds. If you're on this part of the line, you're going to see these, and it makes for fantastic viewing. It's always a pleasure to see a locomotive like this Class 91. But when you look around more of this station, you come to learn that it has had a pretty traumatic history, along with the city itself. Now, interestingly, in World War II, Leeds as an area and this station specifically was bombed by the Luftwaffe. Now, that event was known as the Leeds Blitz, which caused a lot of damage. However, you know, the morality of people comes together, and you do what you can to get the good out of the bad, and they have recovered. And seeing what they've done today and how it's managed over the years, they'd be extremely proud of the recovery of Leeds, that's for sure. I was quite impressed with the architecture here, and speaking of stunning architecture, there is a board showing the Ribblehead Viaduct on the line from Leeds to Settle and Carlisle, and I can't wait to go and visit this line at some point in the future. So in 1988, Leeds was electrified. The main purpose of this was to accommodate the then new Class 91s along the East Coast Main Line. And obviously today we see them fairly regularly. And I've already seen one here on the hour that I've been at Leeds. Now, if you go forward actually to 1999, the station was actually deemed inadequate for the reasons of the passenger usage that was being brought here. So between 1999 and 2002, the station went over a major refurbishment to bring it up to modern standard. Now, if you ask me, I would probably say that with obviously being 20 years since that was finished and the population increases that we have had across the country, they're probably just getting away with it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually increase something here. But then again, you could say that across most of the stations across the network. And they also, a few years back, had a southern entrance which was built at the cost of 17.3 million. So there has been heavy investment in Leeds Station. So you can't say that it's been unkept. They have definitely had some concentration on here, and it's been nice to see. It was time for one more look around this station before heading on to the next stop along my northern adventure. And I have to say that I am definitely ending it on a high note, and it just emphasises to me how much I prefer the railways up here compared to the ones back home. But our next time I will visit a station that was once dubbed the biggest railway station in the world, so keep an eye out for that one. Right then, so that's my time at Leeds all finished. I have to say though, it was quite stressful getting around with the amount of passengers that were here. I mean, that's no fault of theirs, they're getting on with their daily lives, but it was more stressful than I would have wanted it to be. But nonetheless, we're going to board the train and head on to another wonder of the railways, York Station. Now, if you know about York, you know what's there and you know what it looks like, but I haven't been there since I was probably 8 years old. So I'm very excited to be visiting there once again. So let's jump on the train and I'll see you next time down the line.